Snake, do you remember the sinking of that tanker 2 years ago?
Of course.
Terrorists blow a hole in an oil tanker full of crude barely 20 miles off the shore of Manhattan. Your classic nightmare. It didn't take long for the government to put an oil fence around the whole mess. And then that massive offshore cleanup facility went up inside.
The big shell. I hear the cleanup isn't quite over yet.
It takes time. But in the meantime, the shell's become a landmark, a symbol of environmental protection.
Calling teams Alpha and Bravo. Deploy at the big shell as scheduled.
Approximately 6 hours ago, the big shell was seized by an armed group.
Do we have an ID?
Former members of the Navy SEAL Special Anti-Terrorist Training Squad Dead Cell. Russian private army members may also be involved. It's a highly trained group, and they have the big shell under complete control.
Come in from downwind and pull up fast. Get ready to fast rope down to Shell 1. 5 minutes to ETA. Alpha, your top priority is to rescue and safeguard the President. Team Bravo, watch out for Stillman's back and get those C4s disarmed.
What are their demands?
$30 billion.
$30 billion? What makes them think they can get that much?
There was a government-sponsored tour going on at the big shell that day.
Hostages, huh?
A VIP from one of the major conservation groups, and one from our own government. The most important person in a sense.
The most important person?
James Johnson.
The president?
Unless the demands are met, the terrorists intend to blow the big shell out of the water.
And the crude will ignite, turning the Manhattan harbor into an inferno.
That's not the worst-case scenario. If the chlorides being used to decontaminate the seawater go up with the oil, toxins containing catastrophic levels of dioxins will be released. In other words, the bay's ecosystem will be wiped out, and the sea will turn into a toxic soup for centuries, becoming the worst environmental disaster in history. You have 2 mission objectives. 1, infiltrate the offshore decontamination facility Big Shell and safeguard the president and other hostages. And 2, disarm the terrorists by any means necessary. You should know that SEAL Team 10 is also conducting a rescue operation.
Is this a joint effort?
No. Foxhound remains a covert body. Don't alert them to your presence. That is an order.
This is Snake. I'm now inside Strut A of Shell 1.
How are things?
We're in luck. Looks like there are no sentries posted here.
What's the visibility?
The lights on the plant's struts are functioning. I won't have to use the IR goggles.
Any problems?
There was a brand new hole cut through the oil fence. There's someone else besides me that wanted to get in badly.
That's not possible.
What about SEAL Team 10?
They landed on the roof of the Big Shell as planned. And by the way, Snake, we're changing your code name for all following communication.
What's wrong with Snake?
Just a precaution. You are now designated Raiden. All right, Raiden. You've already covered infiltration and VR training.
I've completed 300 missions in VR. I feel like some kind of legendary mercenary.
Okay, we'll skip that part. Make sure nobody sees you. If you need to, contact me by Codec. The frequency is 140.85. When you want to use the codec, push the select button. When we need to reach you, contact you, the codec will beep. When you hear that noise, press the select button. The codec's receiver directly stimulates the small bones of your ear. No one but you will be able to hear it.
All right. I'll contact you if anything changes.
First, make your way to the upper section of the Big Shell.
How do I get up to the next level?
There's an elevator at the far end of that area. Use that.
Sounds good.
Your new sneaking suit uses electrofiber technology, a byproduct of fiber optics research. The texture isn't far removed from rubber, but the material protects against a wide range of toxic substances. The suit itself has a wide array of built-in sensors. It is referred to as smart skin in military R&D. Data about damage to different regions of the body, including blood loss, is exchanged between the suit and the intravenous nanomachines to create a feedback system.
There's a lot of pressure on my torso.
Relax. The suit applies varying pressure to major internal organs to maximize performance and safeguard their functions. They call this the skull suit in Foxhound.
Skull suit seems appropriate somehow.
The hatch with a circular handle will open into the elevator area. Locate the hatch first.
Copy that. Moving on to main mission objectives.
You could probably get in down there if you crawl. If you hide well, you can probably escape when being pursued by the enemy. Whenever you crawl into a narrow space, the camera will automatically switch to intrusion view.
Push the left stick up to move forward, down to move back. Push left and right to turn in those directions.
Keep an eye on the enemy and proceed undercover at all times. You absolutely cannot afford to be spotted. Unlike in VR training, you can use your gun from intrusion view in the field. Keep that in mind. Raiden, first get to the upper section of the big shell. Take the elevator in the north end of the area. To get to the elevator area, go through the connecting passageway to the north. The passage is behind a watertight hatch. It should look like a door with a circular handle. You're currently using artificial blood primed with nanomachines.
What did you do with my own blood?
It's being kept in cold storage. It will be circulated back into your body when you return. If the life gauge drops to the red zone, you won't be able to stop the bleeding by yourself. Bloodstains can give your presence away to the enemy. Be careful. To stop the flow, select the bandage from among your items. You can also go into a crouch or crawl and stay completely still for a while. All you have to do is stop moving for a duration of time, and your nanomachines will arrange for platelets to be produced in large numbers. The bleeding will stop as a result. The punch is the basis of hand-to-hand combat. Push the punch button. Hit it repeatedly to do a combo and take out the enemy. Unlike in VR training, you can fight in first-person view also. Use that to your advantage. Move in close to the enemy when you have no weapon selected. You can throw him with the weapon button. The throw inflicts greater damage than the punch. Keep that in mind.
Move in behind the enemy and push the weapon button without touching the left stick. You can put him in a chokehold. If you keep applying the choke, you can take him out altogether. The level of lethality is strictly your choice.
Raiden, push the R2 or L2 button while in first-person view to strafe right and left respectively. You can use the strafe to quickly slide out of cover and scan the area. Of course, you'll be spotted more easily when you're visible. If you spot a terrorist coming your way, let go of the button and duck back into cover.
Once you see the codec screen, set the frequency by moving the left stick left and right. Push the left stick up or hit the enter button to start a call on that frequency. The codec is also capable of retaining the frequencies that you contacted in its memory. Lean the left stick down in the codec screen to activate the memory window. The memory window displays a list of frequencies used to date. Select a frequency and push the enter button to start a call on that frequency.
Raiden, When you're flattened against a corner, you have the ability to survey the scene behind you while staying concealed. This is called the corner view. Use it to find an opening in their surveillance and move ahead undiscovered. Strafing is allowed, unlike in VR training. Peek by using the L2 and R2 buttons, and make jump-out shots with the weapon button. Take advantage of the different options. Flatten yourself against the wall and push the punch button to knock and create a diversion. You can trick the enemy into coming over to investigate. Deception should be one of your strong points. Or is that only if the other party is a beautiful woman? If you find an item box, walk up to it and take a look in first-person view. You should be able to see what's inside the box. An item box can sometimes fall out while moving an enemy's body. Pick it up quickly. Once you put a chokehold on an enemy from behind, you can drag him around with you. As long as you don't let go, he can serve as a human shield. Keep in mind, Raiden, that this is a covert mission. There's a lot of them and only one of you. You'll be surrounded in no time if they discover your presence. Select a weapon and switch to first-person view with the R1 button. You can now execute a first-person view attack with the weapon button. In first-person view, you'll specifically be able to target the head, feet, and other strategic areas. You can also aim your strike in directions not available from the regular point of view. Overhead, straight down, and so on. You can strafe left and right even during a first-person view attack by pushing the L2 or R2 buttons. Also, the crawl button will let you go into a crouch. Push the L2 and R2 buttons at the same time to stretch up on your toes. This is a useful move when engaging the enemy from behind cover. Explore it. Raiden, the tranquilizer rounds vary significantly in effectiveness depending on the part of the body they hit. Hits to the extremities such as hands and feet take a long time to show effect. On the other hand, a direct hit to the head or the heart will instantly knock out the target. Use the first-person view to aim carefully. Handguns and automatic rifles inflict varying degrees and types of damage depending on where a shot lands. A shot to the right hand will disable that hand, and a target will no longer be able to run following a foot shot. Shoot a vital spot like the head or the heart to take someone down with a single shot. Direct your shots as the circumstance requires. Use the first-person view to aim. If you shoot out the radio behind the enemy's right hip, you can prevent him from calling in reinforcements. Use the first-person view for precise shooting. Push the crawl button while running to go into a roll. You can use it to jump over a short distance or knock out enemy personnel in your path. Use it to maximum advantage.
Lean the left stick only very slightly to slow your walk. You should be able to move quietly over surfaces that would otherwise clatter underfoot.
Push the L2 or the R2 button while in corner view. You will be able to peek out from behind cover and scan that direction. This will give you a better view of what lies ahead, but make sure that the enemy doesn't catch you exposed.
Move the right stick while in corner view to study that direction. You should be able to gather more information this way than from the regular corner view.
Unlike peeking out with the left step and right step button,
This method doesn't involve leaning out. Safety is an important consideration, so be sure to use the technique.
if you have a handgun or an automatic rifle selected while in corner view, You have the option to make a jump out shot with the weapon button. You can take cover behind an object, wait for an opportunity, then strike rapidly. If you have the grenade selected during a peek, you can throw it over by pushing the weapon button with your back still against a shielding object. This should come in useful in situations such as discovering multiple opponents around the corner. Work with it. Keep an eye on how long a shadow you're casting. Depending on the lighting situation, the enemy could discover your presence because of that one small detail. Right. Covertness is the keystone of sneaking missions. It's unwise to leave any trace of your presence, so I suggest you leave those things intact. Once you're spotted, Raiden, you cannot afford to relax even after throwing off the pursuit. The enemy will ramp up its security precautions to hunt out the intruder, you. Patrols may be increased as well. Exercise extreme caution. Even the enemies will have a harder time spotting you in the dark. The chance of being unnoticed is higher if you stay in darker areas. Do you have any spent handgun or rifle magazines? You can throw those with the weapon button after you've exhausted all the rounds in them. They have no effectiveness as weapons, but the sound of it hitting the ground may serve as a diversion. It could be used as a ploy to lure the enemy in. To select a weapon, push and hold the weapon menu button and open the weapons window. You will see an array of weapon icons.
Select the desired weapon by moving the left stick up and down.
The chosen icon will appear in the lower right. You may notice a slight difference from the VR training mode. Any weapons you have from the same class are displayed on the same row.
You can select a weapon out of the row by moving the left stick left and right.
The selected weapon should appear to the far right. Let go of the weapon menu button and the selected weapon will be in your hand. Follow the window instructions on how to use each weapon. Equipment, such as rations, is selected the same way. Just use the L2 button instead. Raiden, if we need to contact you, we'll initiate a call. If you see the call sign, push the select button to open your channel. Raiden, if you walk around with your feet wet, there will naturally be tracks everywhere. There's very little hope that the enemy will fail to spot those. To avoid leaving footprints, crawl instead. Intrusion view does not guarantee your safety. If you're spotted, you will be attacked. Make sure you're not spotted sliding into intrusion position. A patrol could also start checking the spot where you're likely to be hiding in intrusion view. In that case, remain in intrusion and keep moving to stay out of the enemy sight. The intrusion view is no free lunch. Got that? Raiden, you can climb onto anything up to about waist high with the action button. It should come in useful. If you see an approximately waist-high railing, push the action button near it. You will be able to climb over the railing and hang down from the other side. This is referred to as hanging. Not only does it allow you to stay out of the enemy's sight, you will be able to reach locations that are otherwise inaccessible. You will be able to move left and right while hanging. You can use the capability move undetected. Press the action button again to climb up from hanging. A grip gauge is displayed under the life gauge while hanging. The grip gauge indicates how firm a grip you have. It will decrease over time as long as you're hanging. When the grip gauge runs out, you will fall. Climb up before that happens. Push the crawl button while hanging to jump straight down. But a jump from too high a location will take a toll on your life gauge. Check the ground below in first-person view before jumping down. The risk of leaving an enemy's body lying around is too great. If his comrades discover it, they'll be on the lookout for you. Whenever you take an enemy out, conceal the body to the best of your abilities. You can drag an enemy personnel's body. This is how to do it. First, walk up to the body, and with all weapons deselected, press the weapon button to pick it up. As long as you have the weapon button held down, you can move around with the body in your grasp. Release the weapon button to let go of the body. You can use weapons even while crawling. This is different from VR training, so you keep that in mind. The enemies check in with each other on a regular basis. If a man fails to respond, reinforcements are sent in to check out a potential situation. If they find their comrade unconscious or worse, they'll go into high alert. Make sure you hide the body securely out of sight to avoid this. If they spot you, they will call for a backup team, and that's a tough bunch. Direct confrontation would be high risk. Even if you are spotted, there are ways to prevent the enemy from calling in reinforcements. You can take the man down before he has a chance to call in. Get him before he picks up the radio, and you won't have to worry about the backup. You can also set up electronic interference using the chaff grenade. The enemy's radio will be useless, and no contact will be established with other patrols. Taking out the enemy's radio is, of course, an effective means of preventing communication. No backup can be called. Enemy patrols carry the radio behind their right hip. Aim from first-person view, and you should be able to put a bullet through it. If you take an enemy out without being spotted, an item box can sometimes appear. Don't forget to retrieve it. Raiden, you should be used to the controls by now. Proceed with your mission. The clock is ticking. Get on the elevator on the far side of this area and get to the upper section of the big shell.
Definitely not.
Got your feet wet? These are the basic controls for swimming. Stroke the water and move forward by pushing the punch button. Push it in rapid succession to swim faster.
Change your heading with the left stick. Up will take you up, down takes you lower, left and right to face those directions.
The O2 gauge will appear under your life gauge while you're underwater. The gauge corresponds to the amount of air you can hold from a single deep breath. Once the O2 gauge falls to 0, the life gauge will start to drop. You need to be aware of that.
Colonel, I've sighted an enemy sentry. AN-94 and a Makarov. Those grenades, all his equipment, is Russian-made.
Must be a Gorlukovich man.
Gorlukovich?
A Russian private army that was in line to work with the Shadow Moses takeover group 4 years ago.
What's their stake in this one?
They must have made a deal, an arrangement with the terrorists. They become a band of mercenaries, an army without a country.
Colonel, there's definitely another intruder in here besides me.
That's not a possibility.
Not a team. Looks like a solo job.
One man.
We may not know who he is, but he managed to take care of every sentry in the area. They're all out cold. Whoever he is, he's got some skills.
We need to get an ID. But for now, you can take advantage of the situation and get to work. There's a terminal in front of the elevator, a node.
Did you say nerd?
Not nerd, node.
Oh,
Use the node to gain access to the Big Shell's facilities network.
then what?
Pull up the map of the structure. That'll let you activate the Soliton radar.
The Soliton radar? True. That radar came in useful during VR training.
A radar system uses biological magnetic fields as input. These estimated enemy positions are projected onto a map according to reference points collected via GPS signals and field personnel reports. We need to get to the map through the Big Shell's node to put this data processing to practical use. The node unit is about 3 feet high, should be colored blue. Each area has at least one.
How do I gain access?
Just push the action button in front of the node. The nanomachines in your body will take care of the security clearance and allow you access to the node. Complete the procedure before those sentries gain consciousness. If they spot you, you won't be able to gain access for a while. Stay on guard.
Got it.
Raiden, you won't be able to use any of the enemy's equipment.
Why not?
You should know that all active weapons are equipped with a personal identification system. The owner enters their required user ID information during the weapon registration or at the start of a mission. If anyone other than the registered user tries to fire the weapon, the ID system will not authorize the action.
But these are black market Russian weapons. How can they be equipped with identification functionality?
They must have been customized by the terrorists themselves. These are professionals we're dealing with, and they certainly won't let their own equipment be used against them.
I'm guessing it's the same for the Navy SEALs gear?
Right.
How am I supposed to procure weapons then?
Find the ones that haven't yet been individualized. Everything you find in the item box is clean. You should know this from your VR training.
Okay, I know those.
Items in the item box are yours to use at will. They will be your supply source with regards to weaponry and gear.
Good work, Raiden.
The radar should be functioning now?
Remember your VR training sessions. The tool is exactly the same one. It maps the terrain as well as the position of enemy personnel. The bright dot in the middle is you, Raiden. The red dots are your enemies, and the blue cone shape represents their field of vision. Your radar isn't affected by the weather, but if you're discovered by an enemy, you won't be able to use it. It gets jammed easily, I'm afraid. It's all made from currently existing technology. You won't be able to use it in an area with strong harmonic resonance, so be careful. The Big Shell's layout map should now be available after touching the Start button.
How do I save the mission data?
I've set aside a proprietary frequency for saves, and an analyst to work on the data too.
Jack, is everything all right?
What are you doing here?
Jack, can you hear me?
Rose, you're not supposed to be involved. What's going on?
Jack, I'm a part of this mission.
Colonel, what the hell is going on?
Raiden, meet the mission analyst. She'll be overseeing the data saving and support.
Why her?
The Foxhound analyst that was supposed to take part in this mission was in an accident. Rosemary was brought in as a replacement.
An accident?
And according to the files, she knows you better than anybody else.
Rose may be in the service, but an intelligence analyst is no field officer.
Not to worry. She has our technical staff at her disposal.
She's never been a part of a field mission. This is insane.
I have my own reasons for selecting her for this mission, soldier.
Colonel, I fail to see...
I know your VR training performance in and out, but sometimes that's not enough. You're familiar with the Shadow Moses incident?
You know I covered it in VR.
If there's a crucial tactical detail that case taught us, it was the power of the operative's will to survive.
I was trained to fight. My personal feelings have no place in a mission.
We've learned that it doesn't work that way. And on the field, you need all the help you can get.
Jack, you're stuck with me whether you like it or not.
Rose.
You need someone to watch your back. But I have conditions that need to be met, Colonel.
What is it?
I'll perform my duties and save that mission data, but I'm aware that technically I'm not part of the mission control team. After all, I'm just a normal girl who's worried about Jack. But that means, Colonel, that I am not required to follow your orders outside of my immediate duties. Jack is not simply a field personnel for me to track. His safety comes first to me, not the mission. And because of that, I will be monitoring and keeping a record of every communication you have with him, Colonel.
Given the circumstances, you're free to do what you see fit.
Hey, I prefer this to being kept in the dark waiting.
I'd like to make a request, if I may.
Of course.
His handle is Raiden. For the duration of the mission, could you call him that?
Yes, sir. All right, Raiden. Let me know when you're ready to turn in a save. The proprietary save frequency is 140.96. I just switched frequencies. Jack,
What?
do you know what day it is tomorrow?
April 30th. Is there something special about it?
Isn't there?
I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Oh well, I'll keep trying till I hear the answer. I'm gonna let you go now, Jack. Take care.
Raiden, the enemy sentry is regaining consciousness.
Be careful, Jack.
Find somewhere to hide until the elevator arrives. You must stay out of sight.
I'm under enemy fire! Secure the perimeter!
Stay on the lookout.
Raiden, the elevator is on its way down. It will be a few more minutes before it gets there, however. Wait until the elevator is here, but find some cover in the meantime. Make sure you're out of the enemy's sight.
Waiting isn't my strong point.
I know. You always left that job for me, didn't you?
Raiden, is remembering priorities also not your strong point? Just go into hiding until the elevator arrives. Raiden, the enemy sentry is regaining consciousness.
The terrorists call themselves Sons of Liberty.
Sons of Liberty?
The name of their leader is Solid Snake.
The hero of Shadow Moses? So that's why you changed my code name.
Right, but he can't be the Solid Snake. He died 2 years ago on that tanker after he blew it sky high.
Could he have survived?
Not a chance.
Colonel, I'm on the roof. There are no sentries, but it would only take one to spot me in this light.
You never had daylight VR training after all. Stay extra sharp until you can find a node to log in from.
What about the commandos?
SEAL Team 10 has landed on struts B and C.
And the president?
Seems he was spotted on strut B.
Strut B?
The big shell is comprised of shells 1 and 2. Each unit consists of a central core and 6 struts surrounding it.
So the whole thing is shaped like 2 hexagons connected end on end.
Exactly. And you're on the roof of strut A, shell 1 at the moment. First, get to a node. Log into the network.
Got it.
Ryden, look at that wire fence. You may be able to crawl through it.
Crouch down using the crawl button. Then push the left stick in the direction you want to move. Push the crawl button again to stand up.
You can use weapons even while crawling. This is different from VR training, so you keep that in mind.
Colonel, don't you think it's strange that the fence is missing this spot right here?
Yes, I do.
You don't think that he got away?
It's possible. Be on the alert.
Roger that.
You've acquired some ration. Good. This is a portable field food source that can be consumed to recover life. Select the ration in your window and push the Enter button. You can use it on the spot and regain some life. If you have it selected, you can automatically consume the ration the moment your life runs out and avoid death. Rations not only provide nutrition, they also stimulate the immune system and lessen psychological stress.
Not exactly gourmet, though, is it?
Stop complaining, Ryden.
Hang in there, Jack. When the mission is over, I'll make you my specialty.
Yeah, right. No, nothing. Can't wait.
According to the SEAL Team 10's communications, the president was sighted on Strut B. Ryden, head for Strut B. It's to the northwest of Strut A, your current location. Cross the connecting bridge between Strut A and B. You can get to the connecting bridge from the first floor. Get down from the roof to the first floor. The node is on the first floor of Strut A. Don't forget to log in. Understood?
Colonel, do you think the terrorist ringleader is really Solid Snake?
Yes, I do.
But during the Shadow Moses incident, Snake was a...
A hero?
Yeah.
Certainly. You went through VR training, but it is not as if the simulation is faithful to every fact. It changes people.
You too, Colonel?
Raiden, focus on the task at hand. Solid Snake is the terrorist kingpin. He is an opponent you can't underestimate. Understood? That tanker accident that happened over there 2 years ago, the tanker sank and...
I know. I went through it in VR training. The tanker didn't sink because of Snake, though.
Raiden, VR training does not exactly simulate everything with absolute fidelity.
What do you mean?
Okay, listen. Here are the facts. Known terrorist Solid Snake sank that tanker loaded with crude oil, the end result being severe environmental pollution in Manhattan Bay. Put any misperceptions of Snake as some kind of hero behind you. He is a terrorist, and that's that.
Jack, I did a search on the Big Shell. The tanker accident 2 years ago spilled a catastrophic amount of crude oil into the bay. The Big Shell is an offshore decontamination facility built to restore the Manhattan Bay environment by trapping and disposing the spilt oil. Around the perimeter of the Big Shell, oil fences were erected in order to protect against any further dispersal of the oil. You see those steeples erected here and there in the fence? Those are piles to draw up the polluted seawater. Gathered seawater is carried to the pump room in Strut A first, and all of the larger garbage is collected in sediment pool number 1 of Strut D. This is followed by a 2-step purification process in the Shell 2 core water reserve in which oil is removed by microbes. Then it is sent to Strut L and sterilized, and finally once again carried to the surface piles and flushed back into the bay.
Did the military database include information on the marine filtration facility's structure as well?
No, I didn't use the database.
Huh?
I used a brochure. Strut A is a pump facility that supplies the energy to circulate the polluted water drawn from the sea throughout each of the Big Shell sections. The south side is the actual pump facility itself, while the north side is the control room.
Approach the enemy undetected and train your gun on him before he can react. This is how you can hold someone up. Once the enemy raises both his hands, he won't put up any resistance. How you proceed after that is up to you.
Tilt the left stick light.
What's up, Jack? Jack, do you remember what day tomorrow is?
That again. I'm sorry, but I still don't have a clue.
That's okay.
What is it, Rose? Talk to me.
I'd rather you figure it out. It's important.
How important?
Important enough, and we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Why not now?
Tomorrow seems more appropriate. I need all the help I can get so that I won't chicken out anyway.
Is that the reason you decided to be part of this mission? Okay. I'm gonna finish this thing by tomorrow no matter what.
You know I'll do everything I can to help you.
Rose, there's something I need you to do as an analyst.
What is it?
It has to do with Solid Snake. The leader of this takeover incident is claiming that he's Snake himself.
The legendary mercenary?
I need as much data on him as possible. Everything they have on him after the Shadow Moses incident.
He's dead now, isn't he?
Yes. Should be a burial record somewhere, too. You should be able to request top-level security clearance from the Colonel. That should get us into the most classified material.
I'm on it. I'll contact you as soon as I find out something.
Raiden, SEAL Team 10 is in.
Do we really have no line of communication with the SEALs?
They don't know a thing about us. You know we work in the dark, and this mission is no exception. Only a few people know about your presence here. There's no need for concern. This operation is under Pentagon's direct command, and the NSDD came from the Vice President and the Secretary of Defense. Your mission may be top secret, but it's gone through the usual channels.
I'll go check the roof. I'll leave the first floor to you, okay?
Understood.
Colonel, I've located the node, but it's under heavy surveillance. I can't get in any closer.
Distract them. Try making some noise to draw their attention away.
How?
Flatten yourself against a wall and hit the punch button.
Got it.
Press the L1 button when holding your gun to activate the lock-on function. It is very helpful when you want to fix your aim quickly. Lock-on can only be used to fix your aim on an enemy's torso, however. Go to first-person view when you want to aim for an enemy's weak point. Once you're spotted, Raiden, you cannot afford to relax even after throwing off the pursuit. The enemy will ramp up its security precautions to hunt out the intruder, you. Patrols may be increased as well. Exercise extreme caution. Even if you are spotted, there are ways to prevent the enemy from calling in reinforcements. You can also set up electronic interference using the chaff grenade. The enemy's radio will be useless, and no contact will be established with other patrols. If you shoot out the radio behind the enemy's right hip, you can prevent him from calling in reinforcements.
No doubt.
Use the first-person view for precise shooting.
Get real.
Jack, do you need to save?
Rose, are you okay?
Yes, thank you. It really scared me at first, but I think I've gotten used to it. I'll be behind you all the way, so don't worry.
I guess women really are strong.
Not quite. It's not women that are strong, it's me.
Just as long as I can count on you.
Actually, that's not true. It still scares me to death. But I'll be strong. I'll try. For you. Good luck.
Raiden, watch your back. That's a cipher, a type of UAV. If it spots you, it will alert enemy personnel. Exercise extreme caution. But you can use chaff to set up an interference field. That'll knock its sensors offline for a while. Try to locate some chaff. You can also destroy the engine or the camera. Some of the UAVs may be armed. Be careful.
Copy that.
Wait a second. I just intercepted new intelligence on the operation being executed by SEAL Team 10.
Intercepted?
As I said before, they need to be kept in the dark about our presence.
So we just listen in.
I'm patching it through.
This is Alpha Zero. We have the president. Is he safe? He is safe. What about the package? Tell the guys upstairs that we've secured the package. Easy money. Good work. Your retrieval is on the way. Come on home. Roger that. Holy! Alpha Zero, report. Damn it, cover the president! Come in, Alpha Zero. This is Alpha Zero. We're under attack. This is crazy. Is that... Alpha Zero, respond. All Alpha, respond.
Raiden, the president's life is in danger. Head to Strut B now.
The Cypher is a type of unmanned surveillance craft. It will alert the patrols upon discovering an intruder. If you're spotted by one, the reinforcements will come running. Raiden, you need to stay out of the Cypher's field of vision. You can't afford to be apprehended.
But Colonel, there's nowhere to hide.
Jack, snap out of it.
Hang from the railings and let the Cypher pass you by. Try hanging, and keep an eye on the grip gauge. Use the chaff grenade to set up electronic interference. The Cypher will be offline for as long as the chaff is active. The Cypher can be taken out by destroying its camera. Raiden, didn't you hear what the SEAL said? The President is in trouble. Head for Strut B. Strut B is to the northwest of Strut A. First, make your way to Strut A on the double. The President's life is at stake here.
Move the right stick while in corner view to study that direction. You should be able to gather more information this way than from the regular corner view.
Unlike peeking out with the left step and right step button,
This method doesn't involve leaning out. Safety is an important consideration, so be sure to use the technique.
Jack, is that you? Jack, when you get home, let's have a homecoming party. Just the two of us.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll make dinner. Oh, what's wrong?
Well, that sounds good, but how about we eat out at that one restaurant instead? You know, the place that we went to recently with the amazing lobster? I really like that place.
Well, yeah, I guess that's okay too. Huh?
Nothing. I just love lobster. Yeah, can't wait. Woohoo!
Well, then I'll make a reservation. Promise me you'll come back safely.
Don't worry.
Nothing here.
Handguns are aimed by pushing down the weapon button, but if you release the button gently, you can lower the gun without firing.
I guess that means you can hold up someone without shooting them.
Right, I see you found a weapon.
Why are there weapons here of all places? The big shell is supposed to be just a facility for marine filtration, right?
The terrorists probably brought it in with them.
Dunno. Looks like it's been here from before them.
What are you saying?
Raiden, there is no time for armchair theories. Concentrate on the task at hand.
Roger that.
Strut F is the storage center. I think a variety of materials for maintenance of the big shell are stored there. There might be something that would come in handy. Why don't you look around?
Move in behind the enemy and push the weapon button without touching the left stick.
I got it.
You can put him in a chokehold. If you keep applying the choke, you can take him out altogether.
Definitely not.
The level of lethality is strictly your choice.
Got it.
What can I do for you, Jack? Hang in there.
Raiden, watch out. There are sentries posted on the connecting bridge. They will spot you if you continue on course.
Any recommendations?
Use the hanging mode.
Hanging?
Face any waist-high railing and push the action button to clear the railing and hang over the side. Once there, you can move sideways while keeping out of enemy sight.
All right, I'm giving it a try.
Don't forget the grip gauge. It will keep decreasing during a hanging maneuver, and once it runs out, you will fall.
Raiden, stay out of sight at all costs. The bridge is too narrow to offer any way out. If you're spotted, you won't last too long. The sentries aren't checking over the railings. Hanging will let you travel right in their blind spot. Try hanging. I see a lot of birds over there. The tanker accident 2 years ago released crude oil containing massive quantities of endocrine disruptors. The fish that absorbed them were then eaten by seagulls, which further concentrated the endocrine disruptors in their bodies. What sort of outcome this will lead to is still currently under review and is yet unclear. It just goes to show that finishing the cleanup of ocean oil spills does not mean that environmental restoration efforts end there as well. Push the crawl button while hanging to jump straight down. But a jump from too high a location will take a toll on your life gauge. Check the ground below in first-person view before jumping down. If you take an enemy out without being spotted, an item box can sometimes appear. Don't forget to retrieve it. If you shoot out the radio behind the enemy's right hip, you can prevent him from calling in reinforcements. Use the first-person view for precise shooting.
Move in behind the enemy and push the weapon button without touching the left stick.
What can I do for you, Jack? See ya.
What's going on? Alpha, respond!
What are you?
Five today. Or rather, 6.
Get down! Where is he?
Strange smell. You smell like... Are you?
It has to be. Shoot him! What are you waiting for?
Vamp,
Yeah, Queen?
are you all done cleaning up?
Yes, but wait till I tell you what I found.
Something interesting?
I'll tell you in person. Where are you?
In the central unit with the president.
Be right there.
Hold on. I'm not an enemy. Calm down. My name is Pliskin. Iroquois Pliskin. Lieutenant Junior Grade.
Are you a Navy SEAL? How did you get in?
Fast rope descent from a Navy chopper.
Have I seen you before?
That suit. Are you Foxhound?
That's right.
Foxhound was disbanded. Huh? Where were you before Foxhound? Delta Force?
I was part of the Army's Force 21 trials.
Force 21? That's about tactical IT deployment, right? Any field experience?
No, not really.
So this is your first.
I've had extensive training, the kind that's indistinguishable from the real thing.
Like what?
Sneaking mission 60, weapons 80, advanced...
VR, huh?
but realistic in every way.
A virtual grunt of the digital age, that's just great.
That's far more effective than live exercises.
You don't get injured in VR, do you? Every year, a few soldiers die in field exercises.
There's pain sensation in VR and even a sense of reality and urgency. The only difference is it isn't actually happening.
That's the way they want you to think, to remove you from the fear that goes with battle situations. War is a video game. What better way to raise the ultimate soldier?
So you're saying that VR training is some kind of mind control?
Right. What's going on?
The Alpha team from Navy SEAL 10 is dead. No, a single survivor.
The kid's wired with nanomachines.
What about the president?
Looks like they took him somewhere else.
I see. You said there was a survivor from SEAL Team 10.
Yeah, Lieutenant J.G. Pliskin.
Has he seen your face?
What?
This is a top secret mission. No one can know that we're involved.
It's a little too late for that. What's up?
Take a look.
What the hell?
A Navy captain.
You all right?
Give me a few minutes. Must have lost a few more pints than I thought.
What was that man just now?
That blood-sucking freak? That was Vamp. He's Romanian, a wizard with knives, as you saw.
The way he moved didn't seem human.
You won't see that in VR, I guarantee.
What is he?
One of the members of Dead Cell.
Dead Cell? Him?
A special forces unit created by ex-President George Sears. The name was originally intended to reflect its anti-terrorist functions. The unit would launch unannounced assaults on government complexes for the ultimate terrorism simulation. They were needed to show VR troopers like you how to deal with the real thing. But around the time their original leader died in prison, the unit began to unravel. They were always close to the edge, but they became more and more extreme, began to go after US allies, even civilians. We estimate that no fewer than 100 people died as a result of accidents the Dead Cell arranged on their own. They were out of control, and it all came to a head 6 months ago.
What happened?
The unit was devastated. There are only 3 left now, and you just saw one of them.
Why would they go after the big shell?
How should I know? I told you they were on the lunatic fringe.
What about their leader? He says he's Solid Snake.
Snake died 2 years ago.
You mean the incident that made this big shell necessary in the first place?
Right, and he was the one that sank that tanker.
But he's a legend.
Legends are usually bad news. There's not a lot of difference between heroes and madmen.
You're saying Snake is still alive and pulled another one?
No, he's not involved in this one. His body was positively ID'd 2 years ago.
Snake is dead.
And buried.
What about the other soldiers? I saw Russian equipment too.
Former Soviet military. They're probably mercenaries. The big shell is too much ground for just Dead Cell members to hold down. You weren't briefed on any of this? And you came in alone to boot? Why? What are you really doing here? Can't tell me, huh? Fine with me.
I don't smoke.
Keep it anyway. May come in handy. Take this too.
Come in, Alpha Zero. This is Bravo Zero, currently at the bridge between struts B and C. The President is... Damn, I can't hit this thing. It's like some bad dream. Alpha, anyone, come in, all Alpha. This is Bravo Zero.
Aren't you going to answer him?
BC connecting bridge.
We need to get there. Can you handle it?
I need a few more minutes. Remember my frequency. It's 141.80.
141.80. Got it.
I've been briefed on this plant's layout. If you need information on the place or about Dead Cell, contact me. You're using nano communication, right?
Yeah, but I can patch into your frequency.
Hey, what's your name?
Raiden.
Raiden? Strange code name.
Makes up for the boring one my parents gave me.
Maybe I'll find out someday.
He's asleep?
I wouldn't do that if I were you. What are you trying to do, kid?
Raiden, SEAL Team 10 has engaged someone on the BC connecting bridge. The President is most likely there as well. The BC connecting bridge is on the north side of Strut B. The President is in danger. Go now.
Colonel, who are Dead Cell?
They are pretty much what that guy Pliskin described them as.
A special forces unit? The brainchild of the former president?
Chances are someday we'll find ourselves in a gunfight with them.
The thought leaves me uneasy.
You have experience combating Foxhound during VR training, right? You'll be fine. Don't be apprehensive.
Jack, don't run unnecessary risks, okay?
Yeah, I don't want to, but
I know. Is there anything I can do?
yeah. Could you check for any data on them for me?
Okay, I'll do it. Good luck.
Someone mentioned the name Vamp. Do you have any info on him?
Wait a moment, I'll look.
I see you've acquired a gun.
Pliskin gave it to me.
Don't trust that man. But the gun itself seems all right. However, it's not equipped with a suppressor. If you fire it, the noise will be loud enough to alert any enemy personnel within hearing distance to your presence. Infiltration is the art of making your presence invisible. Try not to end up in a situation where you need to rely on firepower. Combat must be avoided unless absolutely necessary. Raiden, don't dwell on what Pliskin said. The VR training you underwent is the best training program there is. There is no reason to be apprehensive. Be confident. Do you understand?
Strut B is a generator facility that generates electricity for the big shell. The first floor is its substation.
Raiden, the tranquilizer rounds vary significantly in effectiveness depending on the part of the body they hit. Hits to the extremities, such as hands and feet, take a long time to show effect. On the other hand, a direct hit to the head or the heart will instantly knock out the target. Use the first-person view to aim carefully. Once you put a chokehold on an enemy from behind, you can drag him around with you. As long
Definitely
as you
not.
don't let go, he can serve as a human shield.
Definitely.
What can I do for you, Jack? Talk to you soon, Jack.
What the hell is that?
Come, put me out of my misery.
This is impossible. Nothing will hit her. Is she the one they call Fortune?
Queen.
Don't let them take the president! Ready grenades! A dud!
Today is another bad day. Is there anyone here that can give me happiness? so sorry, my beauties. I'll see you again someday.
Colonel, SEAL Team 10's Bravo team was wiped out.
I see.
What happened to the cargo choppers?
Both of them are at the bottom of the harbor. Looks like your new hosts have a Harrier too.
A Harrier? What is this?
Calm down. It just means they anticipated the attack.
What?
Besides, since the SEALs drew their fire, your infiltration went off without a hitch. On top of that, we know their defensive capabilities.
Are you saying this was all a feint?
Raiden, get a hold of yourself. The entire mission is in your hands now. Do you understand?
But...
There's no time for questions. They could decide to retaliate for that failed assault.
You mean the hostages?
They could be in danger, yes. But we need to consider the possibility that they'll blow the whole shell. If that toxic spell does take place, it'll devastate not only the harbor, but poison the coastline for generations. Raiden, we've had to adjust the mission objectives. The priority is now on removing those C4s that the terrorists wired over the big shell. The President can wait, but this can't.
Colonel, you know I'm no bomb disposal expert.
That's not a problem. The Bravo team brought an explosives pro in with them. He was supposed to stand by on Strut C according to their mission plan. You should find him there.
Is this according to simulation too?
What are you talking about? Get to Strut C and find him.
Understood. But I need to ask you something before I go.
Make it quick.
Who are they? Dead Cell, I mean. They couldn't hit her no matter how hard they tried. And that vampire too, it's like being in a nightmare you can't wake up from.
Jack, snap out of it.
And you, Rose, I can't believe you're on this mission. I keep thinking I'll wake up.
Raiden, this is real. And that's why you won't wake up.
But nothing seems real.
I've made up my mind to stay with you. Whether this is real or a bad dream, I'll keep watching you till it's over.
Thank you, Rose. And I won't let you be just a dream.
Are you two done? Raiden, you're needed on Strut C. Raiden, you can see the core of Shell 1 to the east. The connecting bridge, though, has been completely destroyed. There's no way to get to the core from where you are. You'll have to use the EF connecting bridge on the opposite side. It's possible the terrorists will attempt to destroy the big shell in retaliation for the SEAL strike. Defuse the bombs before they make that move. Go to Strut C and locate the bomb disposal expert. Take the BC connecting bridge on the north side of Strut B to get to C.
Colonel, do the terrorists have a Harrier?
Yes, an AV-8B Harrier II designed for the Marines. It is a VSTOL attack aircraft outfitted with a 25mm gun, air-to-air missiles, and anti-ground rockets. It's not something you want to try to take on in a SEAL helicopter.
Yeah, even more so if unprotected. Colonel, where did they get such a weapon?
I don't know.
Are they really just run-of-the-mill terrorists?
Relax, Raiden. Right now, just think about your mission at hand. Do you understand?
Colonel, who exactly is that woman?
Her name is Fortune. She leads Dead Cell.
Hang on a moment. I'll look her up for you.
Raiden, looks like Rosemary has something for you.
Jack, I found some information on Vamp. He's been a member of Dead Cell since it was first founded, and like Lieutenant J.G. Pliskin said, he's a master with knives. He's originally from Romania. He's apparently no ordinary knife specialist.
What do you mean?
He can parry bullets.
Yeah, I saw him do it. How the heck?
I don't know. Also, it looks like he secluded himself from other humans on several different occasions. There is no detailed information on him, though. Be careful.
Push the L2 or the R2 button while in corner view. You will be able to peek out from behind cover and scan that direction. This will give you a better view of what lies ahead, but make sure that the enemy doesn't catch you exposed. If you have a handgun or an automatic rifle selected while in corner view, you have the option to make a jump out shot with the weapon button.
Real. How much longer is this guy gonna sleep?
Jack, is that you? Take it easy.
Freeze!
Don't shoot.
You a cop?
I'm not NYPD. I came in with the Bravo team. Who are you with? And what happened to SEAL Team 10?
They're all dead.
All of them? Oh, that's bad.
Did I tell you you could move?
It's all right. He's not one of the bad guys. Don't go pointing that thing everywhere, kid. What's your name?
My name is Peter. Peter Stillman.
Lecturer at Navscolio at Indian Head. Also a consultant for the NYPD bomb squad.
A poor old man who got dragged along for this picnic.
I thought you'd retired.
I did. Can't keep up with everybody, as you can see. A famous church got wiped off the map thanks to me, with too many lives inside. All I lost was this leg.
So you're the bomb disposal guy.
Kid, this is the bomb disposal guy. Open any explosives disposal textbook and you'll see his name.
Just ancient history now.
Why did they bring you out of retirement then?
Because the terrorist group here includes one of my students, the Emperor of Explosives, Fat Man. He built an atomic bomb when he was only 10. I created him in a sense.
And that's why you're here.
I'm pretty rusty. I was supposed to supervise the bomb disposal. Looks like it was taken care of before I had my turn.
I wouldn't say that. There are at least 2 people here who can claim to be experts at bomb disposal.
Are you two with SEAL Team 10? I didn't see you at the mission briefing.
Oh, we're with another squad. My name is Pliskin, Lieutenant Junior Grade. Honored to meet you, sir.
Mr. Pliskin, do you have any experience with explosives disposal?
Don't worry about me. And he looks young, but he can do it. But we need more manpower.
I'm,
What's your name?
Ryden.
That's an odd name.
Any other survivors?
There was also an engineer with me.
An engineer?
A skinny guy. He went in with us.
Where is he?
I haven't seen him since that skirmish.
Was he killed?
I don't think so. I didn't find his body.
I see.
They told me he was a security systems architect for the big shell.
Why would they take a civilian along?
Everything in this structure is computer controlled. He was supposed to get us past all the security measures.
I never heard anything about that.
He had official orders with him.
We'll leave that for later. Right now, we need to figure out how to deal with all the bombs.
But there's no one left from the SEAL's EOD squad.
Yup, so we have to do it ourselves.
But I've never defused a bomb before. Hold on a sec.
Off to confer with the CO again?
Glad to hear Stillman is safe. Assist him in any way possible to clear the C4 from the structure.
Colonel, you know I've never been trained in bomb disposal.
It's all right. The man you're working with is the best in the field. All you have to do is follow his directions. You will, of course, keep your identity and mission objectives to yourself.
Is it true that an engineer came in with Stillman?
I wasn't informed of that. It's probably something the SEALs decided on their own. There are more important issues at hand, Raiden. The enemy may retaliate for the failed assault. Get those C4s neutralized now.
Colonel, I'm not qualified for bomb disposal.
Jack, it's me.
Rose?
You can do this. Trust me.
You haven't had bomb disposal training per se in VR, but you're more than capable of handling C4.
This is a little different from using C4.
You're up for this. You know that.
How about it, kid? Are the results in yet?
There's no need to think about this so much. You won't actually be dismantling the bomb. That's not for amateurs. What we'll try here instead is a temporary freezing measure. Here, look at this. This is a C4 bomb. It's live. You can see it pulsing. Now you spray this on the sucker and there we go. Simple, huh? The spray freezes the detonator instantly.
How long does the effect last?
There's no way the thing can detonate in this condition. Even if you leave it alone, it'll stay out of commission for at least 24 hours.
That's enough time.
If we had the manpower, I'd recommend complete disposal. But this will have to do. The spray can be used from several yards away. Now check the floor, ceiling, walls, under a table, everywhere. Try to imagine the locations the bomber would choose.
That won't be easy. We don't know a thing about Fat Man.
Is there anything that'll help us locate the bombs?
Here, take this with you. It's what they call an ion mobility spectrometer. It can recognize ionized gas emitted by C4s.
The what?
In other words, that little gadget sniffs out C4's scent.
That's right. I've established a link up with your radar network, so any scent detected will be represented visually. Have the sensor activated and keep your eye on the radar.
What if he's using some other odorless substance?
I know Fat Man well. I know how into his own aesthetics he is.
Signatures?
Yes. On every bomb he builds, he always leaves a trace of the cologne he uses. The sensor also picks up that particular scent spectrum.
Is that something he learned from you?
No, it was his own quirk. He wouldn't work by any rules except his own, and he followed them like a religion. And common sense wasn't one of his strong points. I thought I taught him everything I knew. I have no children of my own, and I thought I found a son in him. Very unusual about an ability like that. Even at Indian Head, he got special treatment. I remember some people called him one of the fat cats. Maybe that's what started all this. I didn't teach him the most important thing I had to tell him. There are some things you have to pass on. The trick is to know which one. Right. All I taught him was skills. And now I have to stop him from using it to destroy us all.
Let's see how well that sensor works.
All right. I'm activating them. Watch. You see the green stuff on the radar? That's a visual representation of the C4 scent detected by the sensor.
It's a pretty big area, isn't it?
Don't complain. It's better than nothing.
Just activate the sensors and search the area, okay?
All right.
Don't forget that you need the radar to use this system. Log into the node at every strut and turn the radar on.
We have to keep out of the enemy's sight, too.
Because the radar gets knocked offline when we're spotted?
Exactly. Fat Man would have allotted some C4s here in Strut C as well.
Here?
I know the structure of this facility, and if he wants to take out the plant, where he would target.
You know this for sure?
Of course. I taught him the techniques he uses. His ideas are based on my theories. Demolition is a kind of ideology. It makes no exceptions for time or place. Big shell consists of 2 hexagons joined end on end, north to south. There should be packets of C4s on each of the vertices, or the struts in this case. You need at least that to take a building of this integrity out.
6 on shell 1, another 6 on shell 2. A total of 12 bombs at least.
Considering the shell's architecture and composition from an engineering standpoint, that's my conclusion, and it's exactly what he would have decided as well.
Kid, this place is all yours. I'll take care of shell 2.
Take this.
What's this?
Security card, issued to Shell personnel. The Big Shell security layout includes varying levels of clearance. The clearance level is identified by the number printed on these doors. Writing, your card key can open doors with security clearance level 1. Pliskin, your card can get you into level 3 areas. You'll need it to get next door to Shell 2.
How did you get this?
That engineer I told you about gave it to me. He was supposed to program a set of all access cards once we were on site. Unfortunately, this card won't get you into every area of this structure.
We'll have to deal with the remaining security lockouts as they come up. Let's get going. You stay here.
No, I'm going.
The 2 of us can handle it, don't worry.
But...
You'll just slow us down with that leg of yours. There's a war going on here. I don't have time to babysit anymore.
Why don't you just let us handle the grunt work? You can tell us what to do over the radio, like in the original mission plan.
All right. I'll give you instructions from here. I may also need to prepare a backup plan just in case.
In case of what?
Good luck to both of you. This is a dangerous one.
Who dares, wins.
If anything comes up, let me know. My frequency is 140.25.
Good luck, kid. I'll see you later. Semper Fi.
That man's no SEAL. I don't even think he's a Navy man.
What?
Semper Fi. Marine Corps talk. Normally, team leaders stay in the CP and give orders with those headphones. And as far as I know, SEALs keep their officers away from the field. And Who Dares Wins is a model of the British Special Air Service.
Is he one of the terrorists, then?
No, somehow I don't think so. If there's someone to suspect, I'd put my money on you. Just take care of those bombs for now.
What about you? They could be back in this area soon.
I'll hide out in this pantry for a while. If I lock the door, it should be all right. Plenty of food in here too, so you don't need to worry about me. I'll give you instructions by Codec from here. Good luck, kid. Bomb disposal is a face-off with your own mortality. Don't let the fear get to you. When you give in to the fear, the darkness comes. I'm all right. Everything's okay in here. Get to work on those bombs. No need to worry. I'm all right. No need to worry.
Ryden, Stillman is a top-notch explosives technician. Follow his orders and disarm the explosives.
Okay, but exactly who is Peter Stillman?
Gotcha. I'll look him up. Hold on a moment.
Make doubly sure you stay out of the enemy sight. Ryden, Stillman is an authority on bomb disposal. You need all the advice he can give. His frequency should be 140.25. It's possible the terrorists will attempt to destroy the big shell in retaliation for the SEAL strike. Defuse the bombs before they make that move. Make doubly sure you stay out of the enemy sight. If the radar goes offline, the sensor is useless.
Not a
The
chance.
C4s will become invisible to you again.
I see the old man set you up with a Sensor A unit. Aside from C4, explosives continually release their own specific particles. Based on ion mobility spectrometry technology, Sensor A is capable of detecting particle clusters. Simply put, the detector can sniff out C4. The detected C4 appears on radar as a cloud-like shape. The cloud indicates the rough location of the explosive. This sensor looks like it's been specially tuned. It's been specially modified to sniff out the signature odor of C4, combined with Fat Man's special perfume that he uses to identify his work. That's why it won't respond to any of the C4 that we've set up.
Tell me a little more about Dead Cell.
Dead Cell was a shadow unit within the SEALs organization.
Right. They handled surprise raids on vital government facilities, didn't they?
Yes. They were originally put together to check the nation's military security system. The unit was the brainchild of ex-President George Sears. Dead Cell was a secret unit positioned at the opposite end of anti-terrorist outfits such as Delta Force and SEALs.
Were they always a
group of madmen?
Yeah.
No. They got weird when Colonel Jackson, Fortune's husband, was sent to jail.
Sent to jail? For what?
Corruption. He misappropriated government funds.
Sounds like he deserved it.
That's what everybody else thought, except for the members of Dead Cell. They felt the colonel was falsely accused. Fact is, they took the case to the powers that be, but they never managed to reopen the case.
Was there any truth to their claim?
Who knows? Whatever the situation is, Dead Cell's name was tainted.
And Colonel Jackson?
He was being held at Leavenworth.
Was? Meaning he's been released?
Well, in a manner of speaking, the colonel's dead.
Oh.
Apparently, he lost the will to live and died in prison. The members of Dead Cell snapped with the loss of their leader. They underwent a radical change and became uncontrollable.
And that's why they undertook this terrorist operation.
Seems as good a reason as any. Vamp is a member of Dead Cell. Born in Romania, his specialty is knives. But I guess you know that by now. When he was just a kid, he lost his family to a terrorist bomb that went off in a church they were attending. His body pierced by a crucifix, Vamp was buried under the rubble for 2 days before he was finally rescued. During those 2 days, he survived by feeding on the blood of his family to quench his thirst. That was how he acquired a taste for blood.
So that's why they call him Vamp.
No, Vamp isn't for vampire, it's because he's bisexual. Rumor has it, Vamp was the lover of Scott Dolph, the Marine Commandant who accidentally died 2 years ago. Scott Dolph was also the father of Fortune, the Dead Cell leader.
Fortune's old man? But Fortune and Vamp?
You noticed, eh? Not bad for a rookie.
All right.
As you say, Vamp and Fortune are very close. Not lovers, but very close.
Friends?
No, there's more to their relationship than that.
But Vamp was her father's lover.
Would it have been better if it was with her mother?
Well,
I don't really think they care what you think. Focus on the mission.
by the way, have you ever met the guy before?
No.
But he seemed to know you.
Right. Well, No, it can't be.
What?
Nothing. I told you the Dead Cell is a group of madmen. I wouldn't take anything they say very seriously.
What do you know about that strange woman?
You mean Fortune? She's the Dead Cell leader. Her real name is Helena Dolph Jackson, known to her friends as Lady Luck.
Lady Luck?
Yeah, she got the name because bullets seemed to veer away from her in battle.
Oh.
People have heard her say that her fortune in battle was payback for the lousy luck she's had in life.
Lousy luck?
The death of her father, the Marine commander, the conviction of husband and Dead Cell leader Colonel Jackson. These events were followed by her mother's suicide, the loss of a husband, and the idea of a convict in the family apparently took her over the edge. Fortune was 3 months pregnant at the time, and the shock of her mother's death led to the loss of her child. Add to this her husband's death in prison a few months later, and to sum it up, in the 6 months after her father's death, she lost her family and everything that mattered in her life.
Jeez, she's had it rough.
Yeah. The thing is, she didn't grieve long. Instead, she joined the military.
Now why is that?
Do I look psychic? My best guess is revenge. I heard that she firmly believed that her husband was framed. Anyway, by the time she came out of basic training, she'd proven many times over that she was gifted with an unusual streak of luck. In fact, some say she sold her soul for it.
Her soul?
Her uncanny luck earned her a reputation that led to her appointment as the head of her husband's unit, Dead Cell. Fat Man. Supposedly, he's nicknamed after an atomic bomb, but to me, he's just a fat man. Something straight out of a sideshow. If he even has a bit of spare time, he spends it disassembling and assembling his Glock over and over again. He can't stand to have his hands still. He's extremely vain about his hands, keeps his fingers as slender and soft as a woman's. They say he's always looking at his hands, giving himself manicures.
Pliskin, what do you know about Stillman?
He's a bomb disposal expert, probably the best in the world.
What else?
What do you mean?
Like why he retired.
Are you here to gossip?
No.
Then get back to work defusing those C4s. If there's something you need to know about Stillman, go ask him yourself.
Pliskin, SEAL Team 10's Bravo team's been wiped out.
Is that right?
Is that all you have to say? I thought they were your comrades.
Yeah, too bad.
Too bad? Did you know they were used as a decoy to support my infiltration?
No, but it doesn't surprise me.
Man, you are cold. They were your friends.
What do you want me to say? That you killed them? Or do you want me to say it wasn't your fault?
I just...
Listen, kid, I don't have time to wet nurse you or provide you with a shoulder to cry on. You got a problem with your conscience, you take care of it. Don't bother me.
Pliskin, you seemed pretty focused on the Navy captain. Something catch your eye?
Yeah. Remember the handcuffs were cut? There was something on the other end of that.
Do you know what it was?
Well, No. Forget it.
What do you mean, forget it?
Just what I said. Forget it. Talk to you later, kid.
Hey, Pliskin, were you really a SEAL?
That's what I told you.
But
what?
Nothing.
Listen, kid, you're on a mission. Thinking about anything else can get you killed. Shoot a fire extinguisher and the contents will spew out. It's probably a good way to distract the enemy. If you ever find yourself under pursuit, give it a try. Necessity is the mother of invention. If you shoot those pipes along the ceiling or the floor, jets of steam will escape. Use it to distract or burn the enemy. Remember, always use the surroundings to your advantage. throw something, such as a grenade or a magazine, press the weapon button to cock your arm and release the weapon button to throw the object. Remember, the distance thrown varies depending on how hard you press the weapon button. Make sure you target the throw at the most effective spot.
Right. There's still C4 in the strut where you are.
Where?
All right, let me give you a hint. Look for a place that guys have never entered up to this point. A special place that guys have wanted to enter but simply couldn't. A place that you couldn't enter if the situation wasn't as such. There are still bombs in that area that haven't been disposed of. Search carefully. Look for a place that guys have never entered up to this point. A special
Jack, is that you? I looked into Mr. Peter Stillman's file. Full name is Peter Stillman, known as Peg Leg Peter. He is a legendary bomb disposal technician. He is also a longtime instructor at the Naval School Explosive Ordnance Disposal and a consultant for the NYPD bomb squad. But 5 years ago, he lost his leg in an accident. And since then, he hung up his gloves to focus on being a lecturer. He was called back into service because, as he said, he is the only explosive specialist who can stop Fat Man. Although no longer an active consultant, he is still without a doubt the #1 guy when it comes to disarming explosives. He should be very helpful to you.
Make doubly sure you stay out of the enemy sight. If the radar goes offline, the sensor is useless. The C4s will become invisible to you again. Ryden, Stillman is a top-notch explosives technician. Follow his orders and disarm the explosives. Make doubly sure you stay out of the enemy sight.
Whatever.
Ryden here. I took care of the C4 in Strut C. The ceiling of the women's bathroom was set to blow.
That's not like him.
Anything wrong?
Maybe. Pliskin's reported other locations too, and none of them are effective demolition points.
What do you mean?
It means that they wouldn't be the best places to choose if you wanted to destroy this place.
Are you saying they don't plan on blowing the shell up?
It certainly seems that way. So far, we haven't seen anything but a waste of good explosives. Unless, of course, we're missing something.
A trap?
He couldn't have overlooked the fact that I would be called into this. There's something going on.
It's possible the terrorists will attempt to destroy the big shell in retaliation for the SEAL strike. Defuse the bombs before they make that move. Ryden, Stillman is a top-notch
Colonel, do you really think they'll blow up the big shell?
It's highly possible. We'll have to listen to their demands in full. They are pros. They won't hesitate to take the upper hand if they see an opening.
Do you plan on meeting their demands?
Absolutely not. You're the only person I can depend on. You must remove the explosives quickly. If the big shell explodes, massive quantities of chlorinated chemicals used in killing marine bacteria will go up in flames along with the crude oil. If that happens, expect a large amount of harmful chemical substances, including dioxins, to be released into the atmosphere. Dioxins are common nomenclature for polychlorinated dibenzodioxin and polychlorinated dibenzofuran. They are organic chloride compounds that are highly acute and toxic, and are powerful chemicals that can cause cancer, genetic disorders, and birth defects. On top of that, they do not decompose easily, nor dissolve in water, making it easy for them to accumulate within the bodies of living organisms. The environmental impact on the bay and coastal area ecosystem would be unfathomable. Environmental restoration would likely require several generations. That is why we cannot allow them to blow up the big shell. Ryden, you must disarm the C4. Rosemary researched Fortune for you.
Jack, here's the data I found on Fortune. She goes by Fortune. She leads Dead Cell. Her real name is Helena Dolph Jackson. 2 years ago, her father, Commandant of the Marine Corps Scott Dolph, was killed in a training accident. Her husband was the former Dead Cell leader, Colonel Jackson. Died in captivity, my data says. After her husband's death, she joined the military. She didn't have any combat experience, but was soon singled out for a particular trait and was reassigned to Dead Cell.
What trait?
Luck. She was real lucky, like miraculously lucky. Wherever she went, bullets curved away, and missions always ended in success.
Is that some kind of joke?
I thought so too, but there is not a single record of her ever being wounded, not even a scratch. Jack, be careful, please.
Tell me what you know about Fat Man.
Okay, hold on a minute. I'll look him up.
Ryden, I trust that you don't actually believe what that guy Pliskin told you, right?
I believe him. There's something about him, like an iron will. Enough to trust.
Ryden. He's not included in the simulation. Don't trust him, ever. You got it?
Roger that.
Ryden, how is Pliskin doing?
Looks like he's doing fine.
Stillman said it too. There's something strange about that guy. Don't let your guard down. Understood?
Strut C is the residential area. It supports life at sea for all of the workers on the big shell. That being said, almost all systems are completely automated, so there aren't many workers to be found.
Crawling also lets you move noiselessly. Consider both of these options. Make doubly sure you stay out of the enemy sight.
Ryden, where are you? What are you embarrassed about? You're on a mission. Anything goes.
Pliskin.
I've snuck into similar places in the past myself.
Huh?
Ryden, another C4 down. There was one planted pretty high up on the ceiling. The coolant spray couldn't reach that far, so I had to get up on a stand to do it. The coolant spray that you have is great for freezing the C4 set by Fat Man. After you equip the spray, you can discharge the coolant by pressing the weapon button. When the coolant is exposed to the open air, it changes into a gel and adheres to the C4 and stays at a low temperature. Spray a lot of coolant to cover the C4 and make sure that it won't melt away. This means that once you coat the C4 with this stuff, you can assume it won't explode. You've got enough there so you don't have to worry about running out. It's important to remember that once you equip yourself with the spray, you won't be able to move. If an enemy approaches while you're spraying the coolant, the best thing to do is put it away and hide. On top of dealing with the C4, you can use the spray against an enemy. Don't forget that. You're using your anti-personnel sensor. It vibrates whenever an enemy is approaching your position. The sensor responds to the electromagnetic field and heartbeat of life forms. The closer an enemy, the bigger the vibration. It's a useful device, but remember that if you're equipped with the sensor, you won't be able to feel any other vibrations around you. It's like life. You gain something only to lose something else. It's up to you to decide where and when you want to use it. Put your thermal goggles on and look at the enemy's neck area. You should be able to see if he has dog tags on. Raiden, look at the enemy you knocked out. See the stars revolving over his head? When the stars disappear, the enemy will regain consciousness. Keep an eye on the spot above their heads. You can use the holes left behind from collapsing floors to your advantage. Tip the bodies of enemies you've taken out into the ocean to hide them. Raiden, a full life gauge will slow down the consumption of the grip gauge. Be smart about using your ration. The consumption of the O2 gauge will also be slower with a full life gauge. Make good use of those rations. When you swing up from hanging, use the momentum to knock someone out. Try it when there's an enemy near the railings. If you see a likely handhold while you're jumping down from hanging, try pressing the action button. If you hit it well, you should be able to grab on. It'll work even if the direction is a little off, so play around with it. Jump down right onto the enemy's head from hanging to knock him out. Look down in first-person view to aim well. Think about what the ideal spot to aim for is, depending on time and circumstances. Go for the central nervous system if you absolutely have to take someone out. If all you want to do is immobilize them, temporarily incapacitate their mobility. If you want to make them bleed, go after their circulatory system. And if radio silence is your only objective, destroy their radios. Inflict only the damage that is the most effective for a given situation. Be smart. That's the key to survival. The coolant spray can be a weapon as well. Spray it into an enemy's face and you won't be able to see for a while. Necessity is the mother of invention. Keep improvising if you want to stay alive.
Well done. It looks like there are no more bombs in that strut. Now, head for the other struts.
About this bomb, it's been placed in a somewhat strange location.
Agreed. It doesn't make sense. Not for him, anyway.
You sound like you've got everything figured out.
That's because I do. I know exactly how his mind works.
Stillman, tell me something about Fat Man.
Well, to start, he was born the son of a clockmaker, neglected by his parents and without friends. It seems that he spent a lot of time by himself in his father's workshop. Maybe that was the reason, I'm not sure, but apparently he has had a tremendous fascination with clock mechanics since he was a child. It was at the age of 10 that a guidebook that he found on the internet changed his life forever. That guidebook served as a basis of his eventually piecing together an atomic bomb. It was from there that he came to be known as Fat Man. And soon enough, there was no one associated with bombs that didn't know his name. In a sense, Fat Man was a hero. Although what he did was recognized only by those in the trade, I'm sure that it served to greatly stir the ego of the teenage boy at the center of it all. But he leaves his mark nowhere else. Apparently he was hated and shunned by everyone in school. So he went on to focus all his energy on explosives. He scorned the reality that surrounded him and instead chose to embrace a world that would easily grant him recognition. Well, to be sure, it never amounted to anything more than, say, occasionally bringing a gun into school. Eventually, Fat Man came to Indian Head, the exercise training facilities of the Naval School Explosive Ordnance Disposal at which I was a lecturer. He absorbed all kinds of knowledge, as if he hungered for bombs. Close to 20% of the students at Indian Head flunked out of what is truly a hellish curriculum. Despite this environment, he achieved extraordinarily high marks that were without precedent. After leaving Indian Head, he joined up with Nest, said to be the most accomplished bomb disposal unit. It was there that he apparently got into some trouble.
What exactly?
You got me, but Fat Man was definitely not cut out for group operations from the very start. Having been ousted from Nest, he was picked up by Dead Cell, which was already becoming notorious for being a motley crew of sorts. It seems that it was through surprise attack maneuvers later conducted by Dead Cell that Fat Man completely subdued his former companions from Nest. While being the most peculiar individual among my students, he was also the most talented. Be sure not to underestimate him. Are we clear?
Stillman, are you all right over there?
Yeah, no problem.
You must be bored.
Hardly. Between dealing with you guys and calibrating this, I've got my hands full.
What did you say?
Nothing. Look, it's just that it would be best if we didn't have to use this. Anyway, get to those bombs. Put simply, bomb disposal is a one-on-one with fear itself. Don't try to run away from it. Instead, acknowledge the fear and take it straight on.
Ryden, Stillman is a top-notch explosives technician. Follow his orders and disarm the explosives. Make doubly sure you stay out of the enemy sight. If the radar goes offline, the sensor is useless. The C4s will become invisible to you again. Ryden, Stillman is a top-notch explosives technician.
Ryden, don't get yourself worked up. It's safer to take out the enemy first, then look for the bomb. Don't even think about searching for the bomb while looking over your shoulder for the enemy. Knock them unconscious or take them out altogether first. That's a tranquilizer gun with a sound suppressor. Hit an enemy with that, and it's good night, sleep tight. The time in which the tranquilizer takes effect depends on where you hit your target. If you want to knock somebody out with a single shot, aim carefully for vital spots like the head or heart.
I think I've seen this modified gun before.
Yeah, it looks like the same gun used by Solid Snake 2 years ago. Following that terrorist incident, similar models were made and sold among the fans of his exploits. I think that's one of them. That's an American military M9 modified for tranquilizer bullets. When the tranquilizer bullets hit a target, the round uses the force of the impact to mix the drug, also producing a gas in the process. The pressure of the gas drives a built-in piston that injects the target with a powerful anesthetic. It's like firing a small hypodermic syringe. This M9 is a tranquilizer gun that knocks out the enemy. It doesn't kill them. Those thermal goggles provide night vision by creating images from heat distribution. The goggles have a resolution of over 400,000 pixels, and their equivalent noise thermal differential is under 0.05 degrees Celsius. This performance is largely attributed to the use of a two-dimensional solid projection system with outstanding electric charge transfer capability. With these goggles, you can probably see Claymore mines that are rendered invisible with stealth camouflage. If you look around the necks of enemy soldiers, you can probably make out their dog tags. After you take someone out, shake them by pushing the weapon button. An item box may appear. Try it if you have time. After you hold an enemy soldier up, you could manage to seize an item if you're lucky. There are some items you can only get from a hold-up. Give it a try. Punching is a basic move in hand-to-hand. To deliver a punch, press the punch button. Go ahead, try it.
It appears that Fat Man placed bombs within each of the struts. It's likely there are no bombs planted on the connecting bridges. Head for the struts for which you have not yet finished disposing of the C4. Equipping yourself with Sensor A will bring up a visual representation of the odor of C4s on your radar. It will appear as a mist-like image. C4 is sure to be planted anywhere where there is a response. Search carefully. Sensor A can't specify the exact location of bombs. It's unfortunate, but only the area can be localized. Once you've got the area, you'll have to continue your search using your own two eyes. Discretion is a key when taking on a bomb. A degree of caution that taxes your sense of meticulousness. Don't confuse this with cowardice, as it is the extreme opposite. Carefully conduct yourself with the courage that ensures you get the job done right.
What's up, Jack? I looked up information on Fat Man. Fat Man, the emperor of explosives. You've already heard how he manufactured an atomic bomb at the age of 10. He appears to have been known throughout the world of explosives since he was a child. He entered the Naval School Explosive Ordnance Disposal at Indian Head and graduated at the top of his class. That's around the time that he met Stillman. He was assigned to the Nuclear Emergency Search Team. He quit soon after, though. After that, he joined Dead Cell as an explosive specialist. He's been there ever since.
Looks like the enemy sentries have the defensive perimeters of each strut covered. You'll be safe as long as they don't radio for more men, but if you're spotted, run for it. Find a good concealment and wait until the backup leaves. You won't be able to defuse the bombs while you're being chased down, believe me.
Nothing here.
Freeze!
Nothing here.
You will be able to move left and right while hanging. You can use the capability move undetected. Press the action button again to climb up from hanging. Ryden, Stillman is a top-notch explosives technician. Follow his orders and disarm the explosives. It's possible the terrorists will attempt to destroy the big shell in retaliation for the SEAL strike. Defuse the bombs before they make that move.
Strut D is sediment pool number 1. It's a facility where extracted polluted water is stored without being disturbed, so that its large pollutants settle and are purged from it.
Make doubly sure you stay out of the enemy sight. It's possible the terrorists
Looks like the enemy sentries have the defensive perimeters of each strut covered. That pistol you have is a SOCOM. It's a .45 caliber offensive handgun designed for the American Special Ops Command. With 12 rounds of .45 ACPs, it has outstanding stopping power. The SOCOM has a minimum service life, averaging over 6,000 rounds, and has a 5-round group capacity that extends within a 1.4-inch radius. It's a bit large, but the SOCOM is a gun you can trust. It also comes equipped with a laser aiming module. A suppressor can be attached to the SOCOM to silence gunshots. You should try to find one. That pair of binoculars is a high-end military model with autofocus and zoom features. The binoculars will be particularly useful when used outside the big shell. If you can spot an enemy in the distance at an early stage, it'll give you plenty of time to do something. Scouting out the location of your enemy is vital to the success of an infiltration mission. While running, you can execute a roll by pressing the crawl button. For short distances, you can jump, and if you bump into an enemy just right, you can send the enemy flying. You can also jump over any floorboards that creak every time you take a step. Enemy soldiers will hesitate to attack if you're holding one of their own men hostage in a stranglehold. This move is ideal for escaping tense situations. If you hold down the L1 button, you can move while holding your gun. Should be an effective move when you need to break through some enemies. Don't forget it, kid.
There are still bombs in that area that haven't been disposed of. Search carefully. Strut D, in which you're currently located, has a solid makeup. Thoroughly search the lower as well as the upper level. There are still bombs in that area that haven't been disposed of. Search carefully. Ryden, it's not always the case that C4 is set in visible areas such as the floor and walls. Thoroughly search the vicinity, as there's a possibility that bombs may have been placed in unseen areas. The sensor has a high dependability factor. Consider it error-proof. Even if a glance reveals nothing, you can be sure there is C4 in the vicinity if the sensor responds. Try thinking from Fat Man's perspective and you're sure to find something. Look carefully.
Nothing here. Nothing here.
Raiden, at your feet, there's a hatch for pipe or gauge maintenance. Face the hatch and push the action button to open it. There may be something you can use, so check the inside thoroughly. Make doubly sure you stay out of the enemy's sight. Raiden, Stillman is a top-notch explosives technician. Raiden, Stillman is a
Raiden, I'm done with one more C4. This one was in a spot so narrow, I had to crawl in to get at it. You're holding a chaff grenade, an electronic warfare weapon designed to disrupt electronic equipment and jam transmissions. Detonated with a small charge, the grenade releases chaff and a miniature active jammer. The grenade should render electronic equipment useless for a brief period of time. It's important to note that radar and other equipment which you might have on hand will also be affected. So be careful with the thing if you're using electronic devices. Planning to take some pictures? Well, you've got the right camera for the task. With autofocus and zoom features, this camera guarantees clear pictures. It won't wear with use, so take all the shots you want. Bulletproof equipment will not protect your enemies from a grenade's blast or shrapnel. A well-placed grenade could turn the tide of battle to your advantage. You can hide behind certain objects by crouching low. It's a move that provides cover from enemy fire and also allows you to see in corner view or to do a jump-out shot. Your survival depends on how you use the objects around you. Running out of ammunition in the middle of a firefight can be embarrassing. That's why you want to use the tactical reload feature. Once you remove a weapon from its equipped status, it will be fully reloaded automatically. You can easily do this by using the weapon menu button to change equipment quickly. Think about what the ideal spot to aim for is, depending on time and circumstances. Go for the central nervous system if you absolutely have to take someone out.
This is Raiden. Disposal of the C4 in Strut D is complete. Explosives were planted on the maintenance hatch.
You're taking too much time. You should work a little faster.
There's no time, Raiden. I've got my hands full here, so it doesn't look like I can help you. It's in your hands.
Well done. It looks like there are no more bombs in that strut. Now, head for the other struts. By the way, Raiden, did you happen to see the technician that came down along with me?
No, I didn't.
I see.
Wait, Stillman. Is that guy really...
Raiden!
What?
Disposing of the C4 is our first priority. There's no time. Get back to the task at hand.
Right. Gotcha.
The coolant spray will never run out, no matter how much you use it. Go ahead and utilize it freely. Note, however, that the spray has a range of only several meters. Be sure to factor in the distance between you and the bombs when you use it. When you equip yourself with the coolant spray, you will enter the first-person view screen. Now be careful, as this means that you can't move while spraying. Even in places that you can't reach, or narrow areas that you can't enter, the spray should reach provided you stretch out your arm.
Jack, is that you? Jack, it must be so nerve-wracking to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, that was a stupid thing to say. Sorry.
That's all right. It's just that I've never been trained in this stuff.
You okay? Are you feeling well?
I almost threw up a few times.
Oh, Jack.
But I'm okay. It's not like I'm in this alone.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What do you think about when you're defusing those things?
I don't think so much as remember. And I know that I need to resist that and keep my mind blank. I can't let myself be overwhelmed by the fear.
So, am I a part of what you try not to remember? I was just kidding, but I guess this isn't a good time for that.
No, it is. And I do think about you. I'm trying to remember what's so special about April 30th.
Any success?
No, not yet.
You need to stay alive so you can.
Okay, that's a deal.
Nothing here.
Make doubly sure you stay out of the enemy's sight. It's possible the terrorists will attempt to destroy the big shell in retaliation for the SEAL strike. You can strafe left and right even during a first-person view attack by pushing the L2 or R2 buttons. Also, the crawl button will let you go into a crouch. Push the L2 and R2 buttons at the same time to stretch up on your toes. This is a useful move when engaging the enemy from behind cover. Explore it. Ryden, Stillman is a top-notch explosives technician. It's possible that
You've got rations. Rations are military food provisions capable of life recovery. Select for life If you can automatically recover life the moment it hits 0. Field rations are not just emergency food. For a soldier, it's a vital factor in maintaining combat efficiency. Rations are the result of concentrated research and development efforts on the part of the U.S. military's cooking laboratory. Together with calories, meticulous attention is focused on balanced nutrition. Freeze-dried, the rations are easy to carry and keep well. It ain't home cooking, but it'll satisfy your nutritional needs. What's on your mind?
Well, just between you and me?
Sure. What is it?
I prefer rations over Rose's home cooking.
That bad, huh? Think about what the ideal spot to aim for is, depending on time and circumstances. Go for the central nervous system if you absolutely have to take someone out. You can use the holes left behind from collapsing floors to your advantage.
It appears that Fat Man placed bombs within each of the struts. When the lamp on the detonator stops pulsating, it indicates that the bomb has been frozen, meaning that the bomb has been successfully defused. Apply the spray until the lamp stops blinking.
Jack, do you need to save? Jack, do you remember the day we met?
I'm kind of busy right now, Rose.
You're right, sorry.
I do remember. It was right after I transferred to New York. There were all these tourists around you in front of the Federal Hall.
A group of middle-aged Japanese ladies came up and asked me which building it was that King Kong was climbing in the movie. I said it was probably the Chrysler Building, and then you showed up and started mouthing off. You were like, no, it's the Empire State.
I said the Chrysler Building was in Godzilla.
We started arguing, and I forgot all about the tourists. I was insisting that I was right, and you were doing the same. The next thing we knew, the Japanese women had gone away, and we ended up going to the Skyscraper Museum to see who had the better recall.
We argued all the way to Battery Park.
And for nothing.
Since the museum was closed, we went our separate ways from the museum. And then I found you again by coincidence out in the base corridor.
An amazing coincidence that we were actually working at the same place.
That night we went up to the top of the Empire State.
It was so beautiful. I could look down on the Chrysler Building from 120 stories above ground.
I felt overwhelmed. I didn't care anymore who was right.
And that was our first date.
We watched King Kong in your apartment a bunch of times that night. Didn't sleep till morning. If it weren't for that coincidence, we wouldn't be together.
I know. I'm sorry, Jack. I'm taking up your time again.
What?
Take care.
Nothing here.
I don't see a lot of adequate cover in that area.
There's some cargo on those conveyor belts. That's about it.
Good thinking. Raiden, take cover behind the cargo on the conveyor belt. Match your movement to the belts. It's possible the terrorists will attempt to destroy the big shell in retaliation for the SEAL strike. Defuse the bombs before they make that move. It's possible the terrorists will attempt to destroy the big shell in retaliation for the SEAL strike.
The Strut E roof functions as a heliport, while inside it serves as an aerial transport hub for materials to each of the other struts. Inside Strut E is an automated system to sort materials. It recognizes cardboard boxes and separates them appropriately. By automatically delivering packages to each strut, efforts have been made to streamline manpower.
Raiden, push the R2 or L2 button while in first-person view to strafe right and left, respectively. The enemies check in with each other on a regular basis. If a man fails to respond, reinforcements are sent in to check out a potential situation. If they find their comrade unconscious or worse, they'll go into high alert. Make sure you hide the body securely out of sight to avoid this. If the life gauge drops to the red zone, you won't be able to stop the bleeding by yourself. Bloodstains can give your presence away to the enemy. Be careful. To stop the flow, select a bandage from among your items. You can also go into a crouch or crawl and stay completely still for a while. All you have to do is stop moving for a duration of time, and your nanomachines will arrange for platelets to be produced in large numbers. The bleeding will stop as a result. If you find an item box, walk up to it and take a look in first-person view. You should be able to see what's inside the box.
Don't even think about searching for the bomb while looking over your shoulder for the enemy. Knock them unconscious or take them out altogether first. You can hide behind certain objects by crouching low. It's a move that provides cover from enemy fire and also allows you to see in corner view or to do a jump out shot. Your survival depends on how you use the objects around you. While running, you can execute a roll by pressing the crawl button. For short distances, you can jump, and if you bump into an enemy just right, you can send the enemy flying. You can also jump over any floorboards that creak every time you take a step. Don't even think about searching for the bomb while... A stun grenade, huh? It's a non-lethal weapon designed to daze enemies with a blinding flash of light and an ear-splitting bang. When it goes off, it emits a flash equivalent to 2.5 million candelas and an explosive sound of over 160 decibels. In simpler terms, that's over 120 times the brightness of a police flashlight and the sound of a jet during takeoff. At the same time, it releases about 2,700 degrees Celsius of heat, but that's only at the millisecond level, so don't expect it to ignite anything. The sound emission is also at the millisecond level, so there's no permanent damage to the victim's hearing. Used properly, your enemies will lose consciousness. It's not a lethal weapon. You have the pentazamine equipped, huh? To steady your hands when aiming with a sniper rifle, select pentazamine in the menu display and press the confirmation button. Pentazamine is a benzodiazepine antidepressant used in the treatment of disorders such as depression and autonomic imbalance. In addition to its calming effect, it also relaxes muscular tension and combats convulsions. The result is a steady set of hands. One more thing, pentazamine does not prevent seasickness.
Seasickness? What are you talking about?
I mean, sometimes faith can overcome medical science.
What?
Never mind. If you shoot those pipes along the ceiling or the floor, jets of steam will escape.
Right. The roof of that strut is accessible. Check there as well. Listen up, Raiden. No matter what, don't be impatient. Impatience is questionably the one state of mind absolutely guaranteed to seal your fate when defusing a bomb. No matter how the situation presents itself, you must never lose your composure. Understood? Bomb disposal is also a race against time. The slightest hesitation can lead to a loss of time and inevitably lives. Don't do anything rash.
Focus yourself on being fast and efficient.
Jack, do you need to save? Talk to you soon, Jack.
Nothing here.
Raiden, don't get yourself worked up. It's safer to take out the enemy first, then look for the bomb. Raiden, what have you got there?
Nothing.
Ah, come on. Don't play dumb. That kind of thinking might even be helpful on the battlefield.
Yeah, but...
Look, aside from its educational value, you can probably use it to distract an enemy. That mine detector that you're equipped with displays the location of Claymore mines that aren't visible to the naked eye. It's not your run-of-the-mill mine detector. It's the latest model to use the technology developed in a private Mu chem lab. It isn't a metal detector. It's based more on the various systems used in chemical detectors. In short, it doesn't respond to a mine's metallic casing. It actually detects the elements used in explosives. Basically, it's similar to the sensor that the old man gave you, the one that responds to the smell of C4. That's why you can accurately detect the location of mines, despite the fact that you're in a metal-based structure. The consumption of the O2 gauge will also be slower with a full life gauge. Don't even think about searching for the cardboard box that you have is ideal for fooling your enemies. It's a very important tool for infiltration missions.
Really?
Of course. I can't begin to count the number of agents whose lives were saved by a cardboard box.
You mean everyone's using them?
Look, I'm not exaggerating when I say the success of your mission hinges on how you use that cardboard box.
Huh.
But in the end, a cardboard box is only made of paper. Handle it with care or it won't be of much use to you. Treat your cardboard box with care. Take care of the box and it'll take care of you. Don't think of it as just another box. Treat it with love. Don't be rough, okay?
I've taken care of that annoying fly. What's the situation over there?
Puzzling. I saw a man dressed like a ninja just now.
Ninja?
It's the only way to describe it. A kind of cyborg ninja complete with a sword.
What?
Are you hiding something from me?
Olga, are you sure it wasn't an Arsenal Tengu?
Don't be a fool. Think I wouldn't know the difference? I've never seen field gear like that ever.
All right, we'll intensify patrols. Anything else?
Actually, one more thing. You'll find it hard to believe, though. I saw a man hiding under a cardboard box.
Where?
On the connecting bridge to Shell 2. So you believe me this time?
I've seen someone use that box trick before. We'll lay a trap on the Shell 2 connecting bridge.
Over and out, then.
Freeze! You must be one of Dead Cell.
Of course not. What a thing to say.
Drop your gun!
Not a chance.
I saw a female soldier. Russian.
Must be Olga Gerlukovich.
How do you know?
Unlike you, I've been briefed.
She's not a Dead Cell?
No, she commands a Russian private army.
They must be the ones patrolling the big shell.
That's right. She's led the group ever since her old man, Colonel Gerlukovich, died. Watch yourself with her. She's a tough one.
Jack, is that you? See ya.